Welcome to the Dream Big Summit, creating a better world for yourself and the planet. I have a special guest here today who will talk to us about dolphins. Cyndie Lepori has been dedicating her life to swimming with dolphins, being in the wild, rescuing dolphins all over the world. She's lived on a sailboat for a number of years. I think it was 4 to 5 years. She is talking today to us from Missouri, but normally she is out and about in nature. She came from a nursing career and then switched horses in the middle of the stream, so to speak, and became dedicated to wildlife and preservation, and has developed a fondness of dolphins and became a dolphin emissary. She started even channeling dolphin messages and voices, has written several books, and she was the co-author of, and now let me check this, Dolphins and Whales Forever. It was a bestseller, and she was a contributing author as well as the one for the epilogue, the final message of the dolphins. She's also co-authored several books, including Bubbles and Billy Sandwalkers, a children's book series. So she's here with us today, and she will talk to us about what she discovered about dolphins, my favorite subject, one of my deepest heartful subjects. I know she's been with them in the wild and participates with all the people who've dedicated their lives to only have the contact with dolphins in the wild rather than with people who take advantage of dolphins in captivity. So this is also one subject we will be covering, dolphins in captivity. What's the difference with wild dolphins? And we are sort of in a little bit of a club of supporting, honoring dolphins as a sentient species that are equal or even higher than human consciousness here on planet Earth, who we can learn from. And she understands herself as an emissary and being a fabulous person, open-hearted. I am super excited to talk with her today. Thank you, Cyndie, for being here on our show, and a big Dream Big Summit, asking you about dolphins today, and of course, how we can dream big, create our life, and be of benefit to others. Welcome, Cyndie.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So I would like to just jump in right into the first question. First of all, how did you get started? Tell us a little bit of, just briefly, where you came from, because a lot of people stay in the treadmill of whatever they're doing without jumping to follow their dreams. But now you help people follow their dreams and create a better life for themselves and others. So how did you make that? Where did you come from, and what prompted that shift in your life?
Oh, well, I got a message from God, audible message from God that scared the crap out of me, that said I was going to go to nursing school. And I thought that was the end of it. And then I found out I had to take a physical in order to graduate from a BS nursing program. And that physical class turned out to be scuba diving. Well, I think God just did that to get me into scuba diving, because the first time I went underwater, I never wanted to be on land again.
Really?
And then I continued. Yeah. And then I continued with the nursing career so that I could feed my scuba habit, and ended up being a diving instructor. And of course, I go to the top of everything that I go to because I'm so passionate and single-minded. And the first time I ever dove in the ocean, I dove with the dolphins. But up until I moved out of nursing and moved onto a sailboat, I just thought dolphins were the coolest things ever, and I never realized that they were fully sentient beings and that they could be communicated with. This was like 5 or 6 years later.
Okay,
maybe
so
10.
So you dove and dove with dolphins, dove in the water, but you didn't, although you thought it was cool, you didn't realize that they were really sentient beings.
My Chihuahua taught me that when we were on the sailboat. Because we were up on the top of the sailboat one day, and she would always holler when she would hear the dolphins, and we would go and play with them on the bow of the boat. And I had been communicating with Abigail for, I don't know, a year. And
Abigail,
she goes,
your dog.
Well, lean over. Abigail, the Chihuahua.
The Chihuahua.
And yeah. And so she goes, well, tell the dolphins to go get their babies because I don't see any babies. And as a joke, I leaned over and said, okay, I don't see no babies. Go get them.
Yes.
And they all disappeared. And I was like, Abigail, what did you do? Well, about 5 minutes later, here come the whole pod with baby dolphins.
Yes.
And I went, and the light bulb went off. And so that's when I realized that,
wow.
oh my gosh, who are these beings?
That
and I've
awesome.
taken.
So a direct reflection. You communicate. Did you talk to them physically, or did you think it out loud? I mean, think it in your head out loud.
It was a joke to me. I just leaned over the side of the boat and hollered at them.
You physically hollered. Okay.
I didn't think it. Yeah, because I talked to everything.
Okay.
So but it was like changed my life in that moment.
Yes, yes. So the dolphins showed all the babies as a reply, and you were like, oh my God, they heard me.
Oh, yes. And they did. And then it started the telepathic communications and the teachings. They got a Dolphin Save the Human program. And I'd already been following a Dream Big path, because I had created the sailboat from nothing, just by using the theories of abundance. And I'd been through Life Springs, so that I knew all of them. And I'd been communicating with Abigail and with the birds in the trees and
yes.
playing with the weather. But to talk to a dolphin, oh my God.
And so
that was like the height of all of it.
Yes, please tell me about how it differs from communicating with, let's say, a fish or even a cat or a dog.
They're so much smarter than us, it's scary.
Yeah. How do you know?
It's like,
yes, go ahead.
Because they give me information I didn't know, and I have to go look up.
Yes. For example, give us an example.
During the Gulf oil spill, when they were telling us all kinds of stories about where the oil was and how it was and how we were going to manage it, they actually told me precisely where the oil was in the Gulf of Mexico, which was verified later.
Really?
Right.
So you were mentally in contact with them on the water, in the water, or on shore?
Both. I went and rescued dolphins, trying to help them find cleaner water.
Yes, I saw those
during
posts.
the Gulf oil spill.
Right.
Yeah, that's how we met, you and I.
Oh, I thought it was through the book that you and Roberta and Joan Ocean all were participating.
You and I met during the Gulf oil spill.
Ah, interesting. That's
yeah.
I mean,
I'd already read your book.
Yeah, because I have that same experience in there when I was off of Lanai, the island of Hawaii. I said, where are the babies? I haven't seen any. And then a minute or two later, whoosh, there comes a whole school of adults with lots of more babies. Almost, I thought, and I have never seen it like that again. Although when I was going out with teenage handicapped kids, I saw that a lot of juvenile dolphins came together and played, almost like a reflection for the bunch of kids we had with us. So, it's always dependent on the situation. But anyways, very similar. Where are the babies? And then they bring them by. It's like you send a message, they reply. So it's very clear that they are hearing us. I'm just adding this story just to have the listener realize it's not just you saying, oh yeah, right. And that could be a coincidence. Others have done the experiments. It's phenomenal. The literature that's out there of people having done it. And Roberta Goodman, who's a dolphin researcher, will be on this show as well. Having direct communication and giving us information, like you say, is very real. So they gave you information about other things that you couldn't have known, and that was very accurate and verified later.
Yes, many times. Very many times. Like they were telling me about the sonar off the coast of California, and that they were disabling them. They would hit them with their rostrums. And then I saw a report a few months later about how the Navy couldn't figure out what was happening to their sonar devices.
Are you kidding?
They consider us a little slow sometimes, because it takes so much of their energy to get us to realize that they're communicating with us.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Us humans are a little dense compared to them. I mean, it's which is truly why I consider them the angels of the sea, the masters of the sea. So that's really fascinating.
But there's something else.
Go.
But there's something else about dolphins, and the fact that they're so multidimensional.
Yes.
They're not only the beings that are swimming in the sea, but they're also very multidimensional and have a lot to teach us about spirituality.
Yes, exactly. So tell us more about that.
Well, they are, as part of their Save the Humans program, they are giving us the technology to be able to shift our DNA to be able to be more multidimensional. So they've been talking to me a lot about time travel. They've been talking to me a lot about embodying our higher selves here on the planet.
Yeah.
And all of that they're doing, they're so funny. They tell me they're doing it for selfish reasons, because if they can save the humans, they've saved the earth.
Right. And they save the ocean where they live. Yeah. Tell
right.
me, so
exactly.
tell me, how can we go? Okay, so I concord with everything. And when I've taken people, and you take people swimming with dolphins, when people go, even the handicapped children, when they hit them with a sonar, I know for sure that the DNA of the human gets activated. People go home with a greater sense of later on waking up with what their passion is in life, what they want to do. What are your, I mean, even handicaps disappear. What are some of your experiences with activating DNA in and out of the water? So anything you want to share about that, just go. Just tell me all about it.
Well, since they have shown me the Blue Star attunement, which I've been doing some for people who are ready, because it's not for the faint-hearted. What people are reporting is more joy, manifesting things easier, being able to communicate their what I call their higher senses easier, being able to see and hear and communicate with their higher selves. It shifts the way that they look at their whole entire lives. So you don't actually have to be in the water with the dolphins to get the benefits of this, because there's some of us, me, you, a lot of people across the world that now can actually activate people's DNA using the dolphin technologies, because we've been taught how by the dolphin. Somebody asked me the other day, well, who was your teacher? And I went, what teacher? The dolphins taught me.
Yeah.
And they looked at me like I had three heads.
Yeah.
But it's the truth. The dolphins and the angels have taught me these technologies. And, you know, as we go through the ascension, we're all going to get there eventually. But they're really trying to shortcut the process and enable us to not only embody boots on the ground, fins on the ground, our high selves, our star selves, which the dolphins are our higher selves and our star selves, and our God selves here on the planet, to show us that we're sovereign beings in charge of taking care of the planet and loving ourselves and the planet.
Yeah. Yeah. So you, in your sessions, do that with people, right? You activate their internal perceptions, their capacity to reach into higher realms, and you teach people how to activate their dreams, their goals, how to manifest, right?
Well, in embodying your higher self, your star self, and your God self, you automatically get rid of all the blocks, the vows, the oaths, the curses, the anything that takes away from our sovereignty is healed. And our DNA lights up, and it's a totally different world. So
can you do something?
God,
sorry.
All those things that hold us back. I also update all the old belief systems, remove vows, oaths, and curses, and claim all our beneficial energies. We talk about healing karma, but we never claim the good stuff. So all of those are a part of the first higher self attunement that I'm offering through your program.
Can you just share with us, so people know right up front, what that is and what the cost is and what you do there?
Sure. What I do is I open up the safety gates between you and your higher self, which is the being that you have on the other side that is your highest potential. And I bring those energies into here and now. I heal all the karmic records and patterns, remove all the blocks, claim all your beneficials. I go through all the timelines. And then we bring in your highest potential and your higher self, what is called a high self, into embodiment. And you're walking around as a higher being on this planet all the time. So it's the most incredible experience. And the people that have done this, oh my goodness, they're just beyond themselves at how it's changed and shifted. One girl was living in Australia, and she ended up moving to Hawaii. She has her dream job. She has her dream car. It is just beyond words how it just, any walls that you had, it knocks them down. They aren't there anymore. So it heals them.
Tell me the secret. How can somebody else be of assistance to someone else when they may not have gotten all the lessons associated with it? How can that work?
I'm not doing it.
Okay.
I'm walking the path, but all my dreams have come true. I have to tell you that.
I'm just saying. Yeah, but I'm just saying, if if a person is a client, let's say, and getting a session, what makes it possible that another person can create such openings without the person him or herself having done, let's say, the homework? How is that possible? I'm sorry being here, the little advocate, but I just want to make sure that I'm sure people who are listening are going to be asking themselves that.
Absolutely. I'm not doing it.
Right.
I hold the space for their team to come in and do it.
Okay.
I do not do this. All I do is hold the space. And the dolphins have taught me how to be present and hold the space so that that person gets exactly what they need from their high self, from their healing team, and from being in alignment with Source. Okay. And that's where we're going to, is being in alignment with Source. But Cyndie, the human being, does not do this.
Right.
It is their team that does this. All I do is hold the space and be present.
Super awesome. So when people go through that, do they usually like sit quietly, go into meditation with you, or what do they do?
The first 30 minutes are spent with me going through what I call the C system, which is they gave me a whole list of things to do in order to open the safety gates, what they call the safety gates, mind, body, spirit, and emotional, to 100% to enable us to rise up to these frequencies and vibrations and enable the higher frequencies and vibrations to reach us. So there's no more filters. And so the first 30 minutes is spent healing, clearing, and cleansing and claiming the beneficials in our sovereignty.
Okay.
And they do this with me. Okay. I don't do this alone for sure.
Right.
But I explain every single step of exactly what I'm doing and working with their angels and their team, because we can't do anything unless we ask.
Right.
They can't do anything unless we ask.
Right.
They gave me the questions to ask. So, and then after that, we go into meditation. We hang up the phone because it tends to blow cell phones up, to try to stay on the cell phones. And we go into 30-minute to an hour meditation, and their team does the work, and I hold the space. And then after that, they call me back, and we go over it and call back in a week. And oh my goodness, the changes are so fast. It's amazing.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. And when the dolphins taught you to do this, was that in dream time? Was that off the shore, in the water? How did they step you through these, or how did that evolve in you?
Through channeling.
Okay.
They gave me, I was already a channeler before I ever got on the boat with dolphins. I had talked to angels, guides, and masters on the other side. And I'd been extensively trained on how to do that through a group in Alabama. Okay. And I was very comfortable with working with those guys. With the dolphins, it was like, oh my goodness, how does this translate? Because you get it in a box. Bundle. And then the dolphins started working with the same angels, guides, and masters that I was working with. And they all got in a group and decided I was going to be the first guinea pig. So they stepped me through it first. Experimental. Yeah, you got to be a brave soul to do this stuff. And of course, there were mistakes made, and I've pointed it out to them right away. But I've got such a rapport with all these guys that I can go, okay, the energy's too much. Let's turn it down. And they would give me another tool, and I'd say, okay, this is the problem, and they'd give me another tool. And so it was like a lab rat going through a maze on learning how to do this. But we got it, and it's working.
Did you bring those gifts, let's say, with you from childhood, or when did they start coming into your life?
I can't remember not having them.
Okay. So
and then I had a, most people talk about having near-death experiences. Well, I had a dead as a hammer experience.
Oh, what was that?
Where I did go to the other side. My heart stopped, and I went to the other side. Okay. And when I came back, it was like all the veils had lifted. Any veils that I had before that were gone because I stood in the light. And then I had a problem with, okay, now I miss the light.
Yeah.
So how do I create the light here so that I can bring the light to other people? And then they stepped me through another program with a mentor. And I learned how to bring the light here. And just to be in the light all the time. And then they said, okay, now teach it to other people. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And they go, yes, you are. And it's like, no, I'm not. And then I went and did it. So, we always have these arguments about it, but I always end up doing it. And I asked them one time, why me? Because I don't think I'm anything special. And they said, we picked you because you'll do it. And they said, we pick other people because they'll do it. But they never send the information to one person. Information blanket out there, whoever can tap into that. Yep. And so, all of us are special. Right. But we get to wake up and know that we're special.
Yeah.
And know that we can do this stuff.
So this other dimension is virtually waiting for us to reach up the hand and ask for help. I think that's one of the biggest things we need to realize is that it takes us, like you said, to ask for specific help, for general help, whatever it is. It's just get down on your inner knees and say, please help. This is the moment you can step in. They don't want to do all the work all the time, but when you do ask, you do get help.
Oh, absolutely. Quick, too.
Yeah.
So, and the one thing that I have learned is that when you act like you already have it and you express gratitude for it,
yeah,
it's even quicker.
Awesome.
It's amazingly quick.
So you walk almost like a holodeck, right? You walk into who you might want to be, and then suddenly you find yourself being that being.
That's a really nice way to put it.
I mean, that's what the picture I just got. You said, you just pretend to fake it until you make it kind of thing. I like that holodeck.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Fake it until you make it. Yeah.
So tell me.
Said,
go ahead.
And I'm the type person with my nursing and scientific background, all of it's airy-fairy until the rubber meets the road. Right. I want actual measurable results. That's the scientific part of me. And I get it. They send me actual measurable results.
Tell me one or two. Just tell me some where so our listeners can really grok it and go, okay, that must be real.
Okay, so just the last year, I decided, even though after my ex-husband left, he took most of my money, like all of it, and but I made up my mind that was okay, he could have it, and that I was going to get 10 times that amount. Plus, I was going to find the guy who was really going to love me, my soulmate. And so I wrote down all the stuff, all the things that I wanted, and this time I included for the rest of my life. And even though I was broke as a hound, I would sit down and I'd go, I'm grateful for this penny. I'm grateful for this penny.
Uh-huh.
And I started finding pennies everywhere. And then I'd go, well, I'm grateful for this quarter. And I started finding quarters everywhere. And then all of a sudden I raised my prices on my readings, which I didn't want to do that because it's not about the money for me. But I did raise my prices, and then all of a sudden my phone's ringing off the hook. I wrote myself a check for $25,000, put it on my refrigerator, and said, I am so grateful for all this money that I see coming in. And then I was sitting in a bar one night, which I do that. I'm human too. And this guy walks in and he goes, I've been waiting on you. And I looked at him, and before I thought about it, out comes my mouth, well, I've been waiting on you too. Where you been? And we've been together ever since. He asked me to marry him last week. Money is not an issue. Money is not an issue anymore. And
wow.
but I tell you what, I was $500 in debt every month when I started out. And it's been less than a year, and everything that I dreamed about, it's here, and we're so happy, and we're so compatible.
Yeah.
And I have to show you this.
No, diamond ring. Yes, you're engaged. Okay.
Yes.
And so engaged. I think that's the fabulous part of your story is, first of all, I love a lot of different aspects. At this stage in life, you decided, let me be clear, dear God, for the rest of my life. Okay. Like, got it. Okay. Minimum. Then you were happy with a penny. You increased it when you saw results. You increased it to a quarter. Believable steps. I think that's what a lot of people need to hear, is that when we learn how to manifest, you do it with something you could believe is possible. And then when you see proof, you increase your capacity to holding belief for greater possibilities.
Oh, yeah. I manifested a $55,000 sailboat for 5 years. Yeah. Why couldn't I manifest $500 a month?
Right.
I just went through the same steps.
Yeah, exactly. And we have limiting beliefs in different areas of our lives. And so I'm just trying to say, when you want to manifest, and wherever you are at, it doesn't matter if you're making 100,000 a month, or meaning roughly $1 million a year, then you step it up from there. It's all in your belief is what is possible, but you've had to step yourself up to be able to believe that.
I call it baby step.
Yeah.
Baby stepping into it.
Yeah. So that's
because once you get the proof, yeah.
Yes. When you get the rubber hitting the road, that's when you go ahead and say, okay, I got it. I'm done. Let's go to the next level. Cool.
Exactly.
Cool. Is there, we're coming up on the half hour. I'm just wondering, are there, can you take us through a session on air with all of us listening?
Oh, absolutely. I wasn't really expecting that, but let me get my card out.
But let's do it in the next segment. That gives you a couple minutes to get ready, because we're on half an hour right now. Is there something that you can share from your dolphin experiences? You've swum all over the Gulf, the Bahamas, all over in Hawaii, most likely.
Costa Rica.
Right? Costa Rica. Yeah, I have done the same thing. But tell us a little bit about, tell us one magical story that happened in the water, something else that would dive us into the water with you.
I have a YouTube video. Yeah. Look under my name under video, and it says Dolphin Jumps.
Okay.
So I was down in Hawaii, and the first pod that I ever swam with was the spinners. Well, once one pod knows you, they know you worldwide, as you well know.
Yeah.
And they know you through every species. So I got my new GoPro. I don't even know how to work it. But I'm going through the water, swimming with the
spinners,
the spinner dolphins in the Haliika Bay. And I'm like, well, I want a picture of a dolphin jumping.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm asking you guys to do a spin out jump for me.
Yes.
So I'm minding my own business. I'm tired. It's been like 3 days. I've been out there swimming for days and days and days. And I've got my little GoPro up there. I don't even know if it's working. I've got lots of pictures of my nose. And all of a sudden, I'm sending healing to these dolphins out there. And one of them comes right up to me and does this little
jiggle
shiver thing.
Wow.
Yeah. And I hit the button on the GoPro, and it immediately zooms right past me, looking me dead in my eye, goes up above the water, spins, comes up underneath me, spins right in front of me, and comes to the other side and does another spin. And I've got it all on YouTube video.
Awesome. How we will make sure that that's on your on one of these buttons. That's so awesome. So that was, again, proof in the pudding. You say something, the dolphin does it right there. That is such a gorgeous picture. Yes. So there is the power of your ability to project and their ability to listen. And of course, they are a little bit. Yeah. So that's so awesome. Also, be sure, everybody, to click on the free link up here. Can you describe us what people will be getting?
They are going to get to come to one of my dolphin play shops.
Okay.
And in the dolphin play shop, we don't have workshops. We have play shops.
Yes.
It's dolphin living skills. And they're going to learn how to do a bubble, how to be safe on planet Earth, how to clear their energy, or as the dolphins say, squeeze their sponges. They're going to learn conscious hugging, being present, and how to play with bubbles and energy.
Awesome.
And it is absolutely, we had a blast, and I just wanted to share that with the world. And they're going to get a lot out of it. It's not all just play. There's skills.
Yes.
The best way for us to learn is through fun.
Right.
And so that's what they'll get.
And is that in person, online, or where?
It's online on my site, and all they have to do is go to the link that we've given you and click on it and watch it.
Awesome. Awesome. So the click is right up here. It's a free thing for everybody. And do a play shop with dolphin experiences. Creating bubbles, I think that's interesting. Squeezing your sponges, very interesting. But I hear it's all a lot of energetics and learning how to move your energetic body intentionally.
Absolutely.
Cool.
In a fun way.
Yes, right. Cool. Thank you so much, Cyndie. I'm super excited to be walking into the next segment with you, getting a download that we all can collectively do, or at least whoever and whenever we are listening in to your talk. So thank you very much for having been here with me today and being collectively on the same boat, so to speak, to help dolphins help humans. Bring dolphins to help the humans, and bring humans to the dolphins to help us humans.
The Save the Humans program.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Cyndie.